Hey YouTube, it is EvanMagician34, and before we kick off our Budget Deck Friday, I'm going to remind you that down below, somewhere in this area, you will find a like button. You can also comment. You can comment nicely, you can comment not nicely, but mostly I want you to comment thoughtfully. Give me some kind of meaningful input you've put some kind of consideration into. Even if you disagree with me, I would rather hear that than nothing at all. That's cool. And don't be afraid to subscribe for more stuff. Now, Budget Friday, I was looking through my binder trying to figure out what could we build around that's interesting. And I saw this card, and I've just got so many of them, I couldn't help but pull this card, apparently, out of Phantom Forces. And I figure a lot of other people are probably in the same boat. It's not very desired as far as trading. And this guy's got 90 HP. I mean, 1 energy retreat's not bad. He's weak to fighting, which is bad because of Dawn Fan. Psychic resistance, not terrifically useful, but I mean, it's not worthless. He can crunch to deal 30 and a coin toss chance of an energy removal, and then you can also Darkness Fang for 80. So he doesn't look like too very much, and he'd be easy to gloss over. I mean, in the pre-release he might be a useful card, but beyond that, not so great. But the thing that does occur to me with this guy is Crunch makes me think Disruption, and Dark is a pretty good archetype, and I can think of some friends who might want to come out with him to play. And Darkness Fang, well, 2 hits from that is 160, which means that with a Muscle Band on at least one of those turns, it's a KO on almost anybody. So he does have some merit. So we're going to take a look today at a budget Mightyena deck, if you can believe it. So, we're running 3 Mightyenas for starters. We're, of course, going to coordinate that with 3 Poochyenas, just standard issue Mon that goes with them, of course. And his partner in crime today is going to be Brutal Bash Zoroark, who easily can swing his more powerful attack, arguably Brutal Bash, for just 1 double colorless energy, which is good because Mightyena is not afraid of the double colorless energies either. But we also have Dark Rush in case our opponent injures us and refuses to kill us, which, as we all know, an injured Zoroark is a dangerous thing indeed. So 3 Zeros to support him. I like Nasty Plot Zero just better than Ascension Zero. You can run either one you want, though, because it's essentially just a 50 HP thing that, well, just turns into Zoroark as its only purpose in life. We're running 2 of the Yveltal with Oblivion Wing to support us. We're going to run Lighter Energy so he can bring him back, and that's good. And he has Fighting Resistance, which is better. And his Darkness Blade is a coin toss of not being able to attack next turn, but it can 2-hit KO EXs, which is nice. So he's definite support there. We're running 1 of Spiritomb, as you may have noticed on budget deck days when I'm not running Ace-Specs. I like to run this guy, but especially because Zoroark likes to count dark Pokemon on your bench, this guy just makes good sense, and he's a great starter with Hexed Mirror, and he can save your butt late game too. And my one unusual choice here is I'm going to run 2 copies of this promo Yveltal that came from the Yveltal Xerneas deck. If you don't have him, because he didn't come from booster packs after all, he'll be an easy trade for you. But he has essentially a crunch attack here for a dark and 2 colorless that does 50 damage, but then if your opponent has a Xerneas on the second attack, you can hit for 120 instead of 80, and he also likes double colorless energy here. He's fighting resistant, not too bad. I think he's got just enough usefulness to justify his existence, but we are playing a lot of Disruption, so his Air Crash is the main reason he made it to the deck. Now, 17 Pokemon is pretty heavy, but you're going to see we're going to tear through it pretty quickly. We opt for 4 Sycamore, of course, or Juniper. Either way, it's the same thing. We're running 3 Ends because we're trying to be aggressive, so 4 Ends is kind of out of the question. It's just to draw cards early, and if our opponent takes a quick lead, it can punish them, of course. We're going to be running 3 Pokemon Fan Clubs because we want to load our bench with dark Pokemon. We want to load it all the way, and this helps set us up for evolutions and whatnot. Gets our one-ofs of the different Yveltals and Spiritomb and all that good jazz. So that's definitely to make sure we hit that stuff and we hit it reliably. Speaking of filling your bench, we're also running 2 Colress, because our opponent's bound to put at least a couple things on the bench for us, so this guy's going to shuffle away and draw quite a bit for us most games. So we are opting for 2. And last but not least, we're bringing in Lysander because we're trying to hit for fairly hard, and we're also trying to steal energies away to lock our opponents down. So this can help us in both those endeavors by maintaining the ideal Pokemon in your opponent's active position. And speaking of annoying people and Disruption, here's where the Disruptors are set to full. We have 3 Enhanced Hammer to take off all those special energies, double colorless energy, strong energy, etc. So we can pelt our opponents with that. And speaking of pelting people with things, Crushing Hammer doesn't care if it's basic or special or whatever. Just toss a coin, If you get it right, swell. If you miss, well, no harm, no foul. We'll just try again later. It's no big deal. Should hit about half of them. So this is just nice energy removal support here. We're trying to be really quick here because our Pokemon have very low energy cost attacks, and how we're going to win is by taking tempo advantage early. We're running 2 Evo Sodas because we got 6 things that are evolutions, and we really want to evolve up to them very quickly. So as soon as we hit these, basically, we're going to evolve. We're going to hit that Zoroark. We're going to hit that Mightyena. That's what those are there for. They kind of coordinate to your Pokemon fan clubs, as you may have noticed. And since we have a lighter energy base in this deck, we're definitely going to be running 2 Professor's Letters to hit them and make sure we get them early. A lot of our Pokemon do like having 2 energy, so that's pretty crucial. We're opting for 2 Muscle Bands. Try not to play these. We're going to be a little conservative with these unless they're leading to knockouts. If you play them frivolously, that random Megaphone will come out and pop them, and they'll be pretty wasteful. So unless you're going to Sycamore your hand away anyway, try to be conservative with these if you can. Even if that means shuffling them back in, because if you don't need them, there's no point in spending them yet. They might be more useful somewhere else. We would be running more bands, but we're also running 2 Trick Coins. These are to make sure our Crunch Air Crash attacks hit with a little more reliability. And this card, in many respects, because of the way we're playing it, is almost like a hammer itself. So it's pretty punishing. And remember, once those hammers start racking up, our opponent's going to slow down, which gives us the ability to really abuse more energy removal, and we can afford to attack for a little less damage to make sure we maintain control over their energies. And we are opting for 2 Shadow Circles, basically just because we got Dark Pokemon and we're getting rid of Stadiums. That's all these are basically for, so don't even bother to throw them out unless you're going to discard your hand, because these basically just say destroy your opponent's Stadium, as far as you're concerned. But it does alleviate your weakness on your Pokemon, which might save you from a Donphan KO, and your Yveltals might appreciate relief from Dedenne and such. So it's not a bad thing to have around. Last but not least, we are running 1 Versus Seeker just to kind of reuse whatever. We got a number of things we might want to tap into, mostly card draw power, so that is nice. And in many ways, it's also going to be like an extra Lysander. Alright, energy-wise, we're running just 8 Dark Energy, that's it, but we're going to draw them quickly, play them out quickly, and we have Yveltal to Oblivion Wing and just bring them back. So we only need these 8, actually. And we're opting for 3 double colorless energies. Not everybody wants double colorless, but the ones who do, we like to be able to hit it pretty quickly, and yeah, 3 is enough, because we got to save enough room for our other interesting little tricks. 11 energy is all she wrote. Now, as far as adding money to the deck, there aren't... Actually, I mean, you could opt to run Computer Search, you could pull Spiritomb or not pull Spiritomb when you run it, that's up to you. But more than anything, I would opt that you run Yveltal. Oh, sorry, that's just the sleeve, I'm just kidding. You should actually be running Yveltal. Yveltal EX, Yveltal EX, Yveltal EX. You could easily put in 2 or 3 of them. He's a big bruiser, and he does appreciate you slowing your opponent down, even though it means taking energy. That seems counterintuitive, but it actually does work, because he 2-hit KOs a lot of things anyway, so the 1 energy difference, sparing him the damage, makes more sense in the long run anyhow. And also keep in mind that this guy likes the fact that your opponent is going to be desperately trying to put them together in any way, shape, or form. You know, they're going to be piling it up on their active without even thinking, and this guy can come in and capitalize on it. He likes double colorless energy as well. There's just nothing not to like about this guy. He slows down Donphan. He's just a fantastic bomb. Also, you could also opt for Seismitoad EX. You could even run in a 4th double colorless energy for him. He provides another form of disruption entirely, which is very useful with all those hammers running around. So these 2 guys could both come in if you want to add a little money to the deck. Obviously, you don't have to run the full arts, but if you got them, they just look so gosh darn pretty. So, anyway, there you go, and if nothing else, they really seem to legitimize a deck that's running Mightyena. So anyway, that is your Budget Deck Friday Mightyena Dark Deck, Disruption Deck, if you will, and I will see you next time.